Mary Rose Hoya here from Expert Profit Engine, where we help business owners who are serious about profiting even more from their expertise and faster. So, as a consultant, coach, or service business owner, you are probably working with change. Now, what that means is that you help your clients improve something in their lives or their businesses. You shift them from one state to another state. Now, to do this at high-end levels, which the EPE method is all about, you need to be getting in front of the people that are in charge of changing the status quo and driving the business forward. And your prospects, organizations, and at the highest levels. So for you to be able to cause great impact and transformation, you need to get in front of the people who really hold the money bags and are in charge of bigger, better deals, where you become a strategic partner, a long-term trusted advisor, rather than a one-off sparkler. So if you are struggling with getting beyond lower level management where your current contacts might be, or if you're getting kind of fobbed off onto HR or to a department that is not at the level you deserve, you really need to be focusing on getting in front of the people who really hold the money bags, who are in charge of the long-term deals, the retainers. First of all, you must get in front of the higher level people, because otherwise what you're doing is handing over control of your own sales process to someone who may not understand the actual impact that you have when given the chance, or who does not have sign-off ability on anything higher than a small amount of money. So if you're only selling to that level of person, then you're only ever going to get a certain level of money. So today I'm going to share with you 5 lucrative EPE secrets and 5 magic words you should be using to leap over this barrier. So a major EPE rule is this, that a major time to make your move is to exploit change, exploit headaches, exploit overwhelm that come at micro disturbances in an organization's world and in a person's world. Now, change means headaches and overwhelm for most organizations and for most people. And so it's a very effective inroad to these organizations, and for them to perceive and feel that you will remove that headache and overwhelm. So how do you do that? And here's what we're going to talk about today. So in the EPE method of high-end sales and marketing, it's all about 5 lucrative EPE secrets that we frame as triggers or levers. So let's define these for a second. In EPE world, a trigger is something when you shoot something, and a lever is when you make something move. And in high-end sales, you need to trigger a pain, an emotion that hits your target right here, right between the eyes. And then you lever them to feel that sense of urgency, that sense of pervasiveness, that feeling that their problem is very expensive. And to make it easy, we pull 5 triggers. And they are this: health, money, relationships, energy, and time. And to get the big bucks, you need to make them perceive that you will either make more of one of these 5 triggers or save them. And what happens then is that you trigger this emotional process, this perception, to then shift them mentally to a different space that is closer to getting their headache fixed and effectively bringing them closer to close. And this means, and if you don't achieve this, your expertise and your potential will stay at this shallow, lower level. And a nightmare scenario here would be like you're still there in 6 months' time. Now, it's very obvious when you have hit a pain point and you have struck gold using the EPE method, because you see when you get the fire in the eyes, so to speak, and you're getting the head nods. And that means that you are off to the races when you feel that and perceive that. It's very, very clear. Now, I know you are itching to get in front of leaders But if you are trying to sell to lower level management, you are relying on them for buy-in, and you never want to be doing that. You want to be in charge of your own sales process. You want to be in charge of getting in front of the leaders. That is essential, and you are worth it. So I have a script for you on how to fix this, and here it is. So grab a pen. And what you do is, if a lower level management person, for example, wants to have a meeting with you about a potential project, what you do is you say, listen, this is a change issue, and change is a leadership issue. Let's sit down with the leader. 5 magic words. Change is a leadership issue. And so you get your meetings with the leaders, and then you are face to face with the people who can help understand your impact, have the insight, have the sign-off ability to much higher amounts of money. Plus, you develop your network at that level, and then you start to be talking at that level, and you lift the nose of your own plane all around, and this becomes your new normal. It's a fantastic EPE technique, and I love scripts. Everybody wants scripts, so try this script this week, and this is a very realistic, lucrative script that you can put into action right now. And if you are struggling to gain traction in a new network of high-paying clients or landing bigger, better deals, head on over to expertprofitengine.com and download our free guide there on how to package, price, promote, and sell your expertise at higher profit levels. Again, I am Mary Rose Hoya from Expert Profit Engine, and I will see you next time.